Big Easy Chef. Now can you just imagine some nice flaky, tender pie crust? You're really good at this because that's the exact pie crust we're going to be making today. So why don't you and I run over into the kitchen, see what's shaking, and get to baking. Okay, let's start with 1 cup of butter. You know this has to be good when you're starting with 1 cup of butter. Now cut your butter into little cubes. They don't have to be perfect. Just little cubes will work nice. Place your little cubes of butter into a bowl. Once you have all of these cubes of butter cut, put them in the freezer. Your cubes need to stay in the freezer for at least 1 hour before you make the crust. Also, take your board and rolling pin and place them in the freezer. Now place 2 1/2 cups of bread flour into your food processor. Add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Run your food processor for about a minute, giving the salt and flour time to mix. And this also adds some air to your flour, making the flour a little lighter. Now get your frozen butter out of the freezer. Add it to the flour. This is an important part. Be careful not to overmix your butter and flour. You just want your butter to get a little smaller and get coated with the flour. You need to end up with little cubes of butter coated with flour. And for all those little cubes of butter to still be frozen. So just pulse the mixture a little at a time. Now add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Pulse the processor a little more. Just mix the vinegar a little. Now I have about 1 cup of water in a container with ice. You're not going to use all this water, but have it all ready. Add a little water, pulse the processor a little at a time. Add some more water. You want to be careful not to melt your butter. This is very important. You're trying to get your dough to start sticking together. You can stop and check it often. You can see when I try to squeeze the dough with my hands, it is starting to stick together. This dough is sticking together perfect. You need to know when to stop mixing. Now place your pie dough in a bowl. If you look close, you can see your little cubes of butter are mixed in the dough. You can see those little spots of yellow. This is exactly what you're looking for. Now cover your dough and place it in the freezer if you want to use it soon. You need to let it set in the freezer for at least 30 minutes before rolling it out. This is a good tip when using a board. If you place your board on a smooth surface, it moves around and it makes it hard to work on your dough. Place a towel under the board. This will make the board grip and it won't be sliding all over the place. Even better is this shelf liner material. You can find it in large rolls and it doesn't cost very much. Just cut off a piece and place it under the board. Now the board isn't going anywhere. Okay, now it's time to roll out your dough. Now cut your pie dough into half. Place the other half back into the refrigerator. Remember, the name of the game is to keep your pie dough cold and to preserve those little cubes of butter. Place a small amount of flour on the board. Now start rolling out your dough. It's going to be hard, so be careful not to roll the dough too long. Don't let your dough get too warm by rolling it. At this point, you should be able to see those little cubes of butter in the dough. Or should I say at this point, those little round yellow spots in the dough. If you can see them, then your dough is coming out perfect. Now, if you have some bad spots in the dough, like I do, then you can patch them very easy, and no one will ever know. Now you have made the perfect pie crust. You should be proud of your crust. It's easier than you ever thought it would be to make great pie crust. This recipe for pie crust will be more than enough for a double crusted 9-inch deep dish pie. So there you have it. Now you're an expert pie crust maker. Now this pie crust is perfect for sweet pies, things like pot pies. It's just really, really a great crust. Now I know that you found your way to the website because you're viewing this video. So be sure and check out my other recipes and videos on my website. They're all for free. You don't need a password. You don't need an email address. You don't need some kind of code. You can just get on there and just click away. Now remember what they say, you are what you eat, so eat healthy. Until next time, I'm the Big Easy Chef.